Somebody said, "Why did you call him Waterman?" I really don't like that. If we don't like or believe in him, we should channel that to the NFF, not to him. He is with us now. He deserves our support. I've not said whether I like him or not, but we banter on this show. We banter ourselves, we banter players, we banter coaches. I did not say I don't believe in him. I did not say anything. It's a joke that I'm still going to make later again. So don't take offense. But yes, let us get into it. This is what everybody has been waiting for. This is what everybody has been wanting to know. The Super Eagles now have a head coach, and his name is Eric Chelle, 47-year-old Malian. Well, French Malian international. And of course, the former head coach of the Mali national team. He's the one that beat us when Mali played against us in March 2-0. He beat us. He took Mali to the AFCON in 2024, January of 2024. And I believe they nearly got to the semifinals, but unfortunately they fell to a defeat. He has now been named as the head coach of the Super Eagles. Let me just quickly read the statement that the NFF put out, and then we'll comment on it, and then we'll talk about the coach, and we'll really deep dive into the conversation. The statement from the NFF reads: the Executive Committee of the Nigeria Football Federation has endorsed the recommendation of its Technical and Development Subcommittee for the appointment of Mr. Eric Sekou Chelle as head coach of Nigeria's senior men national team, Super Eagles. At its meeting held in Abuja on Thursday, 2nd of January 2025, the NFF Technical and Development Subcommittee had recommended the appointment of former coach of the senior men national team of Mali as new head coach of the Super Eagles. This recommendation was on Tuesday, January 7th, endorsed by the NFF Executive Committee. Chelle, who won 5 caps for the Aiglons of Mali and coached clubs such as GS Consulat, FC Matix, Boulogne, and MC Oran, has been head coach of the Aiglons since 2022. At the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations finals in Cote d'Ivoire, Chelle's Mali came very close to a place in the semi-finals, losing to host and eventual winners Cote d'Ivoire 2-1 after extra time, after leading by a lone goal until the final minutes of regulation time. The 47-year-old featured for Matix, Valenciennes, Lens, Istres, and Chamois Note. I'm not French. I don't speak French, sorry. In France during his playing career. His appointment is with immediate effect, and he has the responsibility of guiding the Super Eagles to earn a ticket to the 2026 FIFA World Cup Finals, with the next round of matches taking place in March. That is the official statement of the NFF on the appointment of Eric Chelle as the Super Eagles head coach. Now, I'll just highlight some things that I noticed reading this statement. The one that is most obvious: there is no timeline given as to the length of his contract. Is it 6 months? Is it until end of one qualifiers? Is it 1 year? No timeline given. They tell us that his objective is to qualify us, but they don't say how long the contract is. Maybe we'll find out later. But in this statement, no mention of the length of his contract. They also give us his whole rundown of his history. But I also feel like, they are trying to convince us through this statement that he is a good coach. Because the way they're explaining to us about how he nearly took the host, how he nearly took Mali to the semi-finals, they were leading until the final minute of stoppage time. These are not things that you typically get in an official announcement statement. Why are you giving us a match report? I understand that you tell us the coach's history, you give us the coach's resume. I understand that, but you are giving us match reports where you're telling us the specifics about, they were leading for 90 minutes, they equalized them in 90th minute. It sounds like you're trying to convince us a little bit. And ultimately, they said he takes over with immediate effect, so he's the head coach ASAP. Smith, what is your initial reaction to this appointment, Eric Chelle as the Super Eagles?
I don't know. I wasn't shocked because if you check my story, I posted it this afternoon when I just put without any caption there, I just left it. For me, when the NFF tells you these beautiful stories about bringing a coach, expert grade, we know exactly what they're trying to do. This is the exciting man they are trying to bring. So, and for me, I don't know. I think it's a mixed feeling for me. I just, I know he's a very good coach. I know he's a very good coach, but the working condition is one of the problems. I think that he might probably would have issues with. So, when we go to how can he affect the Super Eagles, we just dive deep into what we expect from him. For me, my initial reaction is that I don't know, it's mixed feeling. I know that he's going to qualify Nigeria for the World Cup, but it's just that he's going to be very rough patch here.
Okay. I would say for me, my initial reaction is, I don't know if I'm happy. I don't know if I'm sad. I'm like, okay, this guy is a decent coach. He's a decent coach. He did well at the AFCON with Mali. He beat us. He has a little bit of pedigree. But you promised us, in your own words, an enterprising coach. Is Eric Chelle enterprising? So there's this thing that this thing that I always believe in. It's better to under promise and over deliver than to under deliver after you've over promised. You've made us feel like, even though I don't know how many people actually believed you, but we've made us feel like we're going to get a top coach. Ultimately, with all due respect to him, again, this doesn't mean he's not a good coach. You've got us a coach with a very limited CV. Very, very limited CV. The clubs that he has coached are not clubs worthy of note. MC Oran is probably the most noteworthy club there. He coached Mali. He did a good job. 22 games for Mali, 14 wins, 5 draws, 3 losses. Fantastic output. I will give him credit for that. He even beat us. But is that all it takes to be the Super Eagles head coach? I just feel like the Super Eagles head coach should be harder to get. How bad are things that no good coach can coach us? How bad are we financially that we cannot afford to pay any decent coach? I don't know. I've said this thing on live before, and I always like to keep my words as straight as possible. I don't like to be wishy-washy, flip-floppy. I'm a fan of winners. I don't even necessarily care whether you are some big name. I am a fan of winners. I want to see that you've won something before, and it gives me confidence that you can win something again. Especially when you're playing for coaching a team like Nigeria, Super Eagles. We now have a coach that has never won anything in his career. As a player, he didn't win anything. As a coach, he has not won anything. I don't know how I feel about that. Now, do I think he's a good coach? I think he's a decent coach, yes. I also think that he has the quality to qualify us for the World Cup. I fully believe that he has the quality. I just fear that we're not necessarily progressing at the rates that we should progress. In summary, I think he is better than Osne Guavon, but I think he is worse than Jose Pesero. I think he's better than Osne Guavon, but I think he's worse than Jose Pesero. So did we really take steps forward? I don't know. Smilai, I'll throw this back at you. We can't do anything now. We have to support the coach. A lot of people are watching us, are wondering, what exactly can we expect from Eric Chelle? What kind of coach is he? How does he like to play? Is he still going to be calling players that don't deserve it? What can you tell us about Eric Chelle and what we can expect?
So let me just go to, before I go to what to expect from him, I'll just tell you something that I think somehow is destined for Eric Chelle to coach the Super Eagles of Nigeria. If anywhere you see Nigeria playing games, you playing friendly games, you always see Malian around it. I remember when we went to Algeria to play, I think we lost 2-1 or so. I mean, we lost that game or when we withdrew. Mali was also played against Algeria. They drew 1-1 and also with Algeria then. When we went to go and play Saudi Arabia, who was the second team that Mali played? Saudi Arabia played was Mali. When we were in Morocco, they were also in Morocco with us. I was also hearing that the man himself, the former NFF president, spoke to him during the AFCON in Ivory Coast. So it's like there is this relationship there already that that this guy is just like the worst kept secret. That eventually he's going to be the national team manager. So, but for me, I'm going to just disagree with you on some areas. One, I think it's better than Freddy George. It's better than Osne Guavon and also better than Jose Pesero. And I'll tell you the reasons why. Anytime you see anywhere you see Pesero even fail, you will see him thrive. I remember the game we played against Saudi Arabia. It wasn't a very bad game for Nigeria, but I saw the way Mali took Saudi Arabia to the cleaners, in that friendly game. When I saw the brand of football that Mali played, despite their limited attacking talent, I just realized that the coach is doing something. If you also see the quarterfinal game between Mali against Ivory Coast, you will realize that compared to the Ivory Coast we played in the final and the one they actually won't play, they did better than us. In fact, if we lost the way Mali lost, we'll still be happy that we gave it all. They gave it all against Ivory Coast. And they nearly won that game. Nearly is not. Doesn't kill a bet. But the issue basically is that they played the brand of football that even their fans
Okay,
will
so
be happy.
let me
I will tell you
interrupt you
something.
there, because you are like, see, so far I'm hearing your argument so far, and I'm not agreeing with it,
Mhm.
because we're talking about
Mhm.
brand of football, style of play.
Yeah.
They played a fantastic style. Nigerians, we focus
Mhm.
so much on style and we
Mhm.
ignore results. Even somebody here is saying Gasari is not that good, apart from AFCON. They call it a stunt. Somebody got to
Mhm.
the final, we call it a stunt. Fine. Because we don't like the style.
Yeah.
Style of play does not mean anything if you do not get results. That's the reality. We might look
Yeah.
at it and say Mali is not as talented as Nigeria. I fully agree. But
Mhm.
Mali, they've also had certain results that you think they should do better. Certain games that, like,
Yeah.
they are playing against a team like Eswatini. You expect them to beat Eswatini
Mhm.
properly. They are struggling to win 1-0. This is the way
Mhm.
we are beating Libya 1-0.
Mhm.
So for
Mhm.
me, I
Mhm.
understand that he likes to play a more expansive style of play. Even Jose Peseiro, when he got the job, he wanted to play a more expansive style of play. His plan was not to go and defend. He learned
He
it in
learns
a
in the
hard
hard
way,
way.
exactly because of the players, and the players were just underperforming.
Mhm.
So for me, I
Mhm.
don't necessarily look at brand of play as a reason
Mhm.
to say, oh, he's
Mhm.
better, because Jose Mourinho doesn't play a nice brand of football. We all know this. Does it mean that, oh,
Mhm.
Nuno Espirito Santo is better than Mourinho, or does it mean that Marco Silva
Mhm.
is better than Mourinho, or does it mean that
Mhm.
Enzo Maresca is better than Mourinho because Maresca
Mhm.
likes to play
Mhm.
fantastic football? So for me, I don't
Mhm.
really agree on brand, but I'll
Mhm.
let you continue.
Okay, so I just think that the reason why I focused on brand was that there is this champagne. He likes to play this champagne style of football. That very compact. But he still look for a way to actually want to hurt you. I know that what happened against Ivory Coast might probably be like a rush of blood, but I just think that Nigeria got it right. But Nigeria doesn't get the bet. We know that.
Mhm.
But I just look at this Eric Chelle very well, and I'm going to actually point to the way he plays. He likes to play in a 4-3-1-2 formation. A 4-3-1-2 formation can turn to a 3-5-2 formation. And it likes to play with like a 3 central midfielders, with one attacking midfielder in front of it. So those Nigerians that say, oh, our wingers, please, Eric Chelle does not like to go that route, except he's chasing the game and he now needs to play like a 4-4-2. So I just think that he likes to have more legs in the midfield. And I think that's one of the problems we actually was lacking in our national team. So, and when I was hearing that the way when I looked at the way he played against South Africa in the first game during the AFCON, you know, and I look at the game against Burkina Faso and against Ivory Coast, I just realized that with a better player, with due respect to the Malian players, you cannot say Sinyanyoko is Victor Osimhen, with due respect. You cannot say the boy that played for RB Leipzig, RB Salzburg, is actually what Ademola Lookman, with due respect. Even you cannot say Busoma is Alex Iwobi, with due respect. I'm just thinking that no.
They play different
Different
roles
this thing,
entirely.
yeah, I know. So for me, I just think that with better players and with free hand to work, I think that Eric Chelle can actually do well for Nigeria. I think his tie that he's going to bring is going to favor us this time around that we want to qualify. It's going to favor Nigeria this time around that we want to qualify. So for me, I think he got it right in the wrong way.
Okay, let me jump back into this now. Yeah. So first,
Mhm.
now see again. I see a lot of people are still talking about what I said. I still don't think he's better than Jose Peseiro.
Mhm.
Reason being, the easiest one is to go and check their CVs.
Mhm.
That's the easiest one.
Mhm.
Maybe you'll say, oh, Peseiro is older. He has coached for longer. That's
Mhm.
the reason why he has a better CV.
Mhm.
If you want to say that, I would disagree, but I would even allow you and say, okay, we talk about style of play again. I don't really rate a style of play argument when it comes to the quality of coaches, because a good coach should be able to adapt his style depending on the players he has, depending on the circumstances. Look at Ruben Amorim. That's the reason why he's struggling at Man U, because he has not found a way to realize that if the players he has are not that great for the style of play that he wants to play, and he needs
Mhm.
to change his style to fit the players that he has, and that's the reason why they are struggling. They are still
Mhm.
quality players. They are still having good results against Liverpool, against Man City, but overall things are not going well because he's trying to force the players to play a style that they cannot play,
Mhm.
and a good coach needs to be able to adapt. Like I
Mhm.
said, Jose Peseiro, when he joined Nigeria, wanted to play a more expansive style of play. He learned the hard way. He saw his defense and his goalkeeper giving teams goals, just dashing teams goals. Head goes down all of a sudden. And he realized this, that he needs to start defending and needs to build a solid foundation and then take our chances and try to score. Again, some people might say, oh, but we're only winning games 1-0, 1-1. That's because Osimhen is missing chances. That's because our players are missing. Like, let's be realistic. Most of the games that we narrowly won at the AFCON, if Osimhen had taken one or two of the chances he got, would have scored more, the results would have looked better. The
Mhm.
same Eric Chelle now. Okay, we want to talk about how his team outplayed Ivory Coast in that quarterfinal. They outplayed Ivory Coast. But that same team struggled in their group to draw against Namibia.
Mhm.
That same team struggled in their group to draw against Tunisia. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he will not do well. Oh. I'm not saying he will not do well. But the proof is not in the pudding. There is no evidence per se. Smith, I want us to do a later video where we'll really deep dive and we'll pick videos from Mali's game, do a proper tactical breakdown. We'll do that later. But so far, there's like the proof is not in the pudding. People like to pick on Jose Peseiro and talk about how he started. They ignore how he finished. Eric Chelle, how did he finish at Mali? Lost against Ghana. Ghana. Somebody's losing to Ghana in this. What?
Continue. I have an opinion about that.
Did he lose or did he not lose?
He lost, but I have an opinion about
that. I'm just saying, lost against Ghana, then drew against 10-man Madagascar. Madagascar got red card in 16 minutes. They played a goalless draw against the Madagascar team. That's how he lost the job before this Belgian man took over.
Okay.
So for me, again, I'm not saying he's a bad coach. I honestly do believe that Eric Chelle has what it takes to qualify us to the World Cup. I strongly believe that. With him and the players all sitting up, all knowing what they need to do, I strongly believe that he can qualify us to the World Cup. But what I'm just saying is that the proof is not in the pudding. The evidence is not staring us in the face. The only thing that we can hang on to is that we like his style of play. There is nothing to show that he has had success in the past because he has literally won nothing in his career. There is nothing to show that he will have success in the future. We are taking a gamble. That's what it is. An educated gamble, you gamble responsibly, but it is a gamble. What do you want to say to the Ghana one?
No, for me, I just think that after they lost against Ivory Coast, the pressure was on. I'm like you, and
we saw how hot it was. That
the pressure was on, and I think that some of the area, I think he lost the dressing room sometimes. So it was not the house in order before the Mali game. I had the pleasure to speak to Mali officials during the Olympic Games, and in all honesty, what the man told me, I'm going to tell you now. He told me that was the coach of the U23. He told me that he is a very good tactician.
Even Ekong said Guavo is a very good tactician now.
No. This man, this man was after his job. So I don't want to. It was after his job. So for you to acknowledge these things, he was a very good tactician. But he said that sometimes it just because of this youthful, this thing, he gets it wrong at the right moment. For example, now against Ivory Coast, he made the wrong decision. He was really excited because they were dominating the game. Everything was fine. Rush of blood against Ghana too. They considered last minute and rush of blood. So for me, I think maybe they have a lot of water in Algeria because you cool his head very well this before coming to Uyo because the water in Uyo is acid rain. It's not ordinary water. So for me, I just think that after that AFCON, I think he lost his mojo slightly. But if you have checked his game very well, the problem you normally have, sometimes is that Mali doesn't have the attacking power. If you look at the way they score the goals, Imani Shinyanyoko, Diabate, all those, they don't have strikers to put the ball back of the net. Mali are blessed with midfielders. But I think that with his style does not suit Mali, but his style suits us more than Mali. That's why I put that way.
Okay. Just let me, for anybody that might be, you are hearing Chelle, you are hearing Smith talk about water. Maybe you are a little bit unfamiliar and you are a little bit confused. This is what we're talking about. So yes, that's our head coach. That's the reason why I said Waterman in the beginning. That's the reason why Smith is referencing water because he was the coach that was, that needed his head to be cooled. And the AFCON, that video went viral. Everybody saw it. Let me just take some comments very quickly. Kim Lu says, Ayo, if Mali met Nigeria at the AFCON, they would have flogged us. My response to that, Kim Lu, is if I were light skinned, I would be a millionaire. You cannot prove it. This person says this guy will beat Peseiro blue black. He's an attacking force. So why didn't he beat Ghana blue black? Why didn't he beat Madagascar blue black? Why didn't he beat Namibia blue black? Why didn't he beat Tunisia blue black? Again, this is a random assumption that you're making. I'm not dealing in hypotheticals. I'm dealing in real life and what has happened and what we can see, not hypotheticals. Let me see. AB says, to me, seems to perform like the AFCON due to players than coach imputes. This is as wrong a statement as you can make. It was not, you cannot, this is like a statement that somebody that doesn't watch football will make. Because the coach is obviously the one that sets the team up the way that he sets the team up. The coach is obviously the one that made us as compact as we were. So to put it on players and not give the coach credit is so disingenuous. It is so disingenuous. Again, We are talking about if but oh, he nearly beat Ivory Coast. Oh, he nearly beats this one. Pesero nearly beat Ivory Coast as well, if we're using nearly. But somehow we don't give Pesero credit for nearly beating, but we give somebody else credit for nearly doing half of what Pesero did. I don't get it. Again, I'm not trying to knock the coach, but I don't get that argument. I don't get that argument. Segodi is a South African. Says Eric Chelle was very lucky against South Africa. He was supposed to be 20 before halftime. South Africa lacked striker, to be honest. That's a South African perspective. Eh?
Suppose.
But again, we're still talking about hypotheticals. I like to focus on real life.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody says, who knew Pesero before he coached Nigeria? Someone asked us was going to the World Cup. Again, you did not know him. Does not mean that he was not existing, and does not mean that he was not doing well. I don't want to read through Pesero's CV because he's not information about Pesero, but you can look it up online. Pesero has had success in his career. You can look it up online.
Mm-hmm.
Yara says that game he didn't play with a full team. Did Pesero or did Guavon or did Finidi always have a full team? But we don't give it as excuses for them, but we want to give it as an excuse for somebody else. Okay. Olu says, yeah, you're right. We didn't take some of our chances at AFCON. Pesero ended well though. Kimlu says, how can you say there's no proof in the pudding? He has a playing pattern. Pesero did not. Again, a very, very false statement. Pesero obviously had a playing pattern. You might not have liked the pattern. You might have thought it was a negative pattern, but there was obviously a pattern. So somebody is attacking. Maybe you prefer attacking coaches. Fine. That's everybody has an opinion. Some people like defensive coaches. Fine. But you cannot say he did not have a pattern. He did. Ikechukwu says, Pesero himself no get proof. Again, I reference his CV. Go and look at his CV. Go and look at what he had achieved before he joined Nigeria. Go and look at where he had coached before he joined Nigeria. Go and look at what he had won, what he had achieved before he joined Nigeria. And then also look at what he achieved with Nigeria, taking us to the AFCON final for the first time since 2013. But again, fine. Marvin says, what has Pesero won as a coach? Again, go back to his CV. Go back to his CV. AB says, Ayo, in Chelle or Pesero, who would you employ to coach your team? Now, here's the interesting thing. This question, I'll probably choose Chelle.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like his style. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying I wouldn't choose him. I'm not saying he's not a good coach. I like his style. So if he's my team, I'll probably choose him. I was only referencing the fact that I do not think he is a better coach. I would choose Maresca over Mourinho to coach my team. But I do not think that Maresca is a quarter of the coach that Mourinho is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not about who I would choose per se. That's what I'm saying. Smidlai, does Eric Chelle speak English? Do you know?
Yeah, he speaks, but
I did watch him do an interview. He speaks English.
Yeah, in the smattering way, not really.
Yeah, not perfect English, but he does speak English. He says, don't worry until we have enough cold Swan bottled water. I don't think in Nigeria, now pure water they go use it. They're not go in this economy, you cannot be wasting bottled water on coach head though. Now pure water just be squirting it on his head when things are tough. Olu says, can he work with our players? That's what I'm not sure of. I would say I don't see any reason why he cannot work with our players. He's going to have to earn their trust because he's a low reputation manager. And then when you're coming into a team with big egos, with players that are coaching abroad, the biggest place you've coached is in South Africa. You have these players that have coached, that have played for top teams in Europe, Premier League, La Liga, all these kind of places. You have to earn their trust. I don't know if you guys have seen, there was this video of Anna Slot, his first day at Liverpool, when all the players were just eyeing him and the man meant to go and sit alone. And now, obviously, he has earned and has proven himself that he's a quality coach. So it's the same thing that I think is going to happen to Chelle. The players are going to be side eyeing him in the beginning, like, who is this guy? Is he better than some people might be thinking that should we not just have kept a Guavon? I saw somebody that commented on our Instagram page that said, why did we leave our own to go and hire another African? So there's going to be people that are going to be side eyeing him. Some people are not going to be happy about it. But for me, I definitely think that he can work with our players. I think that he needs to earn their trust, but he can. Do you want to answer this question?
Yeah, I think that he's a guy that he does not, he's Malian, but don't forget, he wasn't born in Mali. He doesn't even live in Mali.
Yeah, he's French Malian, yeah.
The French Malian, he just like say, the mentality is different. Let me just give you an example. The biggest player in Mali is Bissouma. He kept him on the bench. See, he's a guy. So I'm not presuming anything though. But if you're not performing for him, or you don't suit the style he wants to play, you sit on the bench. You get it? So it's not. In fact, when he left, Bissouma and co, they still wanted him to stay because they trusted some things in what he actually did. So some people don't want to, but at least most of them wanted him to stay. And I can tell you that Mali wanted him to continue as their coach, but I think he's just so interested with Nigerian projects. He is that I can tell you. There's something I can not say on camera, I can tell you what everything they did to get this job. So for me, I think he can actually what, and it's just for players to believe in him that he can actually what, give them the World Cup ticket.
And I mean, no surprise that he will move heaven and earth to get this job. This is by far the biggest job he has got in his career. So of course he would do everything. And I mean, with all due respect, coaching Mali and coaching Nigeria is a different talent pool. If you rate yourself as a coach, you would be licking your lips at the prospect of coaching Nigeria because we have quality players. It's all about how you can get them to do what you want to do. Someone says Ayo is hilarious. He won't let the matter go. He even played the video. Anyway, see, let's be realistic here. Every time Nigeria loses a match, that video is going to go viral again. Let's be realistic. If we never lose a match like this, that video is going to go viral. So the man must be ready for it. He must be ready for it. Chiamaka says, or Chinwoke rather, says at this point, no right or wrong about him can coexist until we see evidence of the first few games. Fingers crossed. Let's not overthink it. I would agree with Chinwoke. We cannot say whether or not he will do well. We have to see the first few games, see what his idea is for Nigeria, see what he's trying to do. Is he a good coach? Yes, absolutely. I think he's a good coach. Can he qualify us for the World Cup? Yes, absolutely. I think he can. Excuse me, but we have to see how it goes. Other people are in this. I checked the results in MC Oran. He lost some matches recently, but let's stick to what Smithlai has said. Nigeria got the tools to work with.
Yeah.
Adege Mayowa says, you're so confident that he'll qualify for the World Cup. That's also not factual. You're just projecting, just like those who said he will beat Pesero are projecting. I'm making a prediction. I'm not assuming random stuff. No, I'm making a prediction. I'm saying I think he can qualify us for that's not a projection of, oh, this person will beat that person. No, or this person would have won if he had these players. No, that's some random hypothetical. I'm just telling you, I think he has the quality. I don't see how to you that's the same thing. I don't see how you think that's the same thing. Igechuku says, which success? Talking about Pesero. Again, all you have to do is just like Google is, if you are here, you have data, Google is free. Just Google it and look at his CV. It's that simple. I don't know why some people try to ignore facts. Abimbola Jai says it is all about money and someone that Cerezo or Senegavor can control. So, do you think that's true? That's they hired him because of the money that they are paying him and because they can control him.
No. If you think you can control him, you are sleeping. Chelle is an independent man. He's a man that's we stand with his words. So if you want to be bringing player from Yefu, my brother, look at different channel. He's not going to take that one from you. Chelle, he got the job. There's one adage in my language. I won't say it because of not speaking Yoruba. So if you don't put the ring in the hand of somebody, now come and remove it. So we already have the this is actually what he got the job already. So for me, I think that you can't control him. He can never be for that.
Okay, Igechuku says if Pesero should coach Mali, he's going to fail. Pesero had good players in the Nigeria team. Again, random hypothetical. If and but Pesero has coached worse teams before, so it's not like he has not coached worse teams. Just go and
he has failed, yes.
And he has failed, and he has also had
no pass, yes.
Exactly. So if and but, we're not talking about ifs. So Mayowa says, I know that Rolls Royce is better, but I'd rather pick this Camry instead. IoT, I beg now. That's hilarious. I can't even lie. That is funny. But my response to that would be, your car would depend on the events, would depend on the terrain that you are going to navigate. If you are going to be going through rocky mountains, are you going to drive your Rolls Royce? Or will you go and drive your pickup truck? So nobody is saying that Rolls Royce is not fancy, that it's not nice to have a Rolls Royce, but Rolls Royce is not the car that you're going to use for everything. You cannot drive your Rolls Royce every day. People that own Rolls Royces in Lagos, do they drive the Rolls Royce every day? So again, you pick and choose depending on your terrain. So that was actually a very funny comment. When I saw it, I chuckled, but I don't agree with it necessarily. Expert says Nigerians have a confirmation bias when it comes to Pesero. Honestly, Nigerians didn't like him before AFCON. Some didn't, which is true. And that's the reason why now all people want to talk about is the fact that we lost some games before the AFCON. That's all we want to talk about. Nobody wants to talk about the AFCON and how we did. Even the people that talk about the AFCON are not trying to give him credit. They want to talk about what he did before. It doesn't really fully make sense to me. Paul says Pesaro's games are very edgy. We saw what he finally did with the final match. We are not a team that should defend for 90 minutes. I agree with you. We are not a team that should defend for 90 minutes. I agree with you. That final match wasn't good. I agree with you. I don't like that. But that does not all of a sudden mean that somebody is not a good coach. Antonio Conte will defend for 90 minutes. Jose Mourinho will defend for 90 minutes. Are they not good coaches? Espirito Santo, that is having success with Nottingham Forest now. No be counter-attack football than they play. They have 30% possession in each match. About that. It's defend. Hit them on the counter with Elanga and Hudson-Odoi and Morgan Gibbs-White. Score goals. If all of a sudden things don't go well, he's a bad coach, but things are going well, he's a good coach. Isn't that life? The same as Pizanto failed at Tottenham, no? So again, these things, it's not linear. Things are just not linear. That's the reality. Things are just not that linear. Let me see. There's so many comments, man. I can't take all of them. Somebody says, I'm hoping this is not another Finidi George experiment. Like, what do you say to that?
This is not really good experiment. It's really has never coached the national team before. I never coached outside the country before. This man has coached like 3 clubs before actually moving to join Mali, and he also did well in Mali. In Mali he stayed for 2 years, and his average point was 2.1 per. So for me, he won majority of his games. So Finidi George has never coached a full season there. I think it was a beach leagues. When he never won the Premier League there in Nigeria. So Finidi George at national team level was a rookie. This guy is experienced. I'm a young coach. I've coached in the AFCON before.
No, and I will say this: we shouldn't be comparing him to Finidi George. The same thing I'm talking about him and Pesero about. Look at their series. Look at what they've done. It's the same thing I will say about him and Finidi. He has more sample size than Finidi. He has not won anything, but he has got results far more than Finidi. There's more proof in the pudding for him than Finidi. So I wouldn't say it's another Finidi George experiment. Finidi George was just let's try our Nigerian coach. That's what Finidi George was. It was just like, oh, let's just try and see. Whereas this is a coach that we've seen signs. Again, for me, this hiring of Eric Chelle is just like hiring Ruben Amorim to Man U. Ruben Amorim is even maybe not a greater. It's like hiring Graham Potter to Chelsea. That's the perfect analogy. It is like when Chelsea hired Graham Potter, a coach that has done well with a smaller team, that is playing a good style of football, hasn't won anything, but you can clearly see that he has a good idea. He has done well with a smaller team, and now you're saying, okay, let's see if he can do it with a bigger team. That's what we're doing with Eric Chelle. He has done well with Mali. We know that his style of play is good. Nigerians would like it. So now let's see if he can do well with Nigeria. Let's just hope that he doesn't also learn the hard way like Pesero learned. Let's hope that he doesn't learn the hard way. I'm not resorting him to now. He'll say he has to start defending. Then people will start insulting him again. Because I would again tell you guys, all of us are calling Pesero a defensive coach now. But no, Pesero, when he joined Nigeria, was not defending.
Yeah.
He only changed because things were not going his way. And World Cup qualification was looking bad. And he wanted to do well at the AFCON. That's the reason why he changed. So we never know what can happen with this coach too. But I think that Graham Potter to Chelsea example, I think is a perfect analogy. We're hiring a coach that has had no limited success with a smaller team, has a good brand of football, and now we want to see if he can do well with Nigeria. Like I've said, I think he can do well. I think he's a good coach. I think he has the quality to do well. We just cannot see. Unfortunately, we just cannot be so confident. My confidence level is even honestly largely based on the players in our group. I just think we have quality players that have pride and want to do well and want to go to the World Cup. I also think that we can steady the ship a little bit and beat the teams in our group. And I also think that we have a decent coach. It's not a great coach, in my opinion. It's a good coach. He's a good coach.
Yeah.
Smith, I want to ask you. We know about Daniel Ogumodede. We know about Fidelis Ilechukwu. Are there any other hints, rumors, talks about backroom staff for Eric Chelle?
Yeah, I think it's coming with his own backroom staff. I think those that he has worked with before. I think it's coming with a goalkeeper trainer. It's coming with a new goalkeeper trainer, not Barua this time around. It's coming with with a striker. I think it's also a striker, trainer too, with also a set piece coach. So I think it's coming. It's going to have like this very large backroom staff. So for me, I think Ilechukwu and Guma, they will be like the third and the second and the fourth assistant. So they might not even be close to him when he's actually on the bench of the Super Eagles. So for those asking about his license, you have a pro license coach. So if you don't actually want to know about that, so it's going to come with his own backroom staff for NFF to support him with some they actually would have locally. But I think it's going to be Ilechukwu and Guma. Yes.
Let's see who he brings. Maybe the people that he worked with at Mali, just the same people. But it will be interesting to see when the backroom staff is fully set up. I hope that the NFF would make an official announcement, to let us know this is our coaching crew. You understand? Like take picture of all of them, let them line up, let's see their faces, let there be an official announcement. Let's hope. I'm also hoping that they will bring back Ebobo, who was the video analyst. They worked that man out. It was video analyst for Super Falcons, video analyst for Super Eagles. It was doing everything. Also doing timekeeper for the team. Also doing assistant coach during training, and they were still owing him salary. So, but I just hope that they bring him back to work with Eric Chelle. We talk about promoting our own. We talk about helping our own grow. Ebobo is a fantastic UFRB licensed coach, video analyst. Let him continue growing. I think that he can do a decent job, in the team. So I hope that they bring him back. But I cannot say. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens then. Let me see. So Marvin is asking a question. If Chelle likes to play an attacking midfielder, which attacking midfielder do we have that fits his style?
He's at Alex Iwobi.
So you think now
He's ready.
Alex Iwobi is going back into an advanced midfield role?
His team is set.
Hmm.
It's going to be Alex Iwobi, Lukman, and Osimhen up front. You will see.
Alex Iwobi, Lukman, and Osimhen
Up front.
So are we talking about Iwobi on the right or
no. Iwobi be
behind the two of them?
So
Osimhen and Lukman playing as forwards, as strikers. Lukman, assuming Lukman will be the supporting striker. Osimhen as the main number 9.
And the main number 9. Lukman to roam about.
Free roam.
Free roam, yes, to roam about.
And then it will be playing behind them as the chief creative outlet.
Yeah.
Okay. Deji says at least we have a goalkeeper now, thanks to Pesero. Pesero did not discover, but he brought him into the team, so I understand what you're saying. Let me see. God's Power says we don't have a choice but to support the coach. However, our guys need to inject optimum commitment to the representation of Nigeria. I agree. The coach, we're discussing him now because he just got appointed. Once it's time for the first match day, it's just full support. Let's give him full support. Let's see what he can do. We'll be observing developments leading up to your match. But of course, we have to get behind him. We cannot wish him bad. We have to believe that he can do a good job and hope and see what the results look like. Our South African friend says all African coaches want to play beautiful football that they know nothing. Chelle will fail. Germany, Holland coach will do well with Nigeria. So I don't know. You're South African, so I don't know if you're wishing us well or you're wishing us bad. Even though you're my friend.
Yeah,
I know, but I don't know. You might low key not want us to because we're facing them. If Chelle does well, it means that South Africa is not going to World Cup.
Let me just say something. Chelle lost only one game in the first 16 games of Mali. One game in the first 16 games. He beat Congo. If he can win the first 3 games for us, we're going to the World Cup.
I mean, if he starts well, yes, but we also don't want him to start well and then cool off because the same way he won those first 16 games, he did not finish well. The same way Enzo Maresca won how many of his first few games with Chelsea. Now to pick results in December, now be like exam. But yeah, okay. If you want to call in, the link has been posted on all platforms now. You have your chance. We'll give everybody a few minutes to share their thoughts. I know most people want to talk about the Super Eagles coach. So please call in now and we'll give you a chance to share your thoughts. But Smith, before we take calls, I just want to ask you this question finally about Eric Chelle. It's not one question, it's going to be a few questions. The first one is that on a scale of 1 to 10, you're a guy that knows Nigerian football. People really value your opinion. When you say something, people are going to take it to the bank. So now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much confidence should Nigerians have in Eric Chelle?
Nigeria should go and sleep and go to bed. Open your door. Thief will not come. So for me, I think it might be hard for Nigeria to trust him, but I can tell you that after the first 2 games, you'll be calling him, you'll be hailing him.
Okay. Second question. Looking at our squad now, who are some players that you think we can expect to see elevated performances from under Eric Chelle? Who do you think he can improve and step up their performances?
The player that just comes to my mind, that is going to thrive, in this formation is Rafael Onyedika. He's a guy, Rafael Onyedika, and the guy from Augsburg. What's it called? Frank Onyeka. He likes a player with legs. And I don't want to do respect to the players, the senior players in this team. The way I see it, some players will have early retirements. And the Twitter warriors will come on Twitter, we blast. I can tell you, some players will have early retirement. But the best thing is that let's support him with what he's doing. Because I know that he's going to achieve he's going to hand well. So for me, a player that comes to my mind is Rafael Onyedika. And I also think that this guy, I don't want to mention names, but Adema Lukman, and that player actually will try very well.
Okay. Another question that I'll ask you: if you say that Alex Iwobi is going to be his chief creator, what do you think it means for your boy Fisayo Dele Bashir? What does it mean for him?
For me, I don't want to mention names like this, but I wish him the best of luck.
You're saying a lot without saying anything.
Yeah, I just wish him the best of luck. Yeah.
Okay, what does it mean for Fisayo? I wish him the best of luck.
Yes.
Okay, and then finally, right now, assuming every single Nigerian player is available, give me your first starting 11 under Eric Chelle.
So according to what I see and what I think that he will probably actually play. The goalkeeper, we don't go to be starting Wabali or maybe one can go here, but I think it's going to be Wabali. We'll go it out for a while. And I think we didn't say to have bought the new goalkeeper. Another sad news. So, and the right back, I think it's going to be Olaino. I don't think, anybody can actually debate that. And I think the central defense is where I think there might be a slightly big problem. I know that Kevin Bassey is going part of the central defense, but, to see who will pair Kevin Bassey is, I don't really know, but I think some players might probably get like a new, it's going to be like, I think Semi Ajayi, it's going to be back in February. I think it's going to be Semi Ajayi that will actually play. But, Semi Ajayi, I have a question mark on that because of the type of defenders that he likes. Kevin Bassey will suit what he wants to play. Left back, I have question mark on Bruno Yimich. That's left back. So I don't know, maybe he's going to swap a line for that side and Brad side somewhere on the right.
What does he do? What else, Sanusi?
Because he's not back yet.
No, I said assuming everybody's fit.
Okay, assuming everybody's fit. Okay, this is Sanusi. Ahead of him. Ahead of him. The midfield three is where I think I have problem picking. So I know that Onyedika and Onyeka will actually want to play in his formation, but my issue is who will be probably on the left. He likes to play like that. Three, like central midfield. Like one is going to be at the base. Two can dictate play. Maybe probably. Box to box Frank Onyeka, but I don't know who can be at that left. I don't think it's going to. I don't think it's going to assign Yusuf. I don't think it's going to assign Yusuf. I don't think it's going to assign Yusuf. So I don't know about Wilfred Ndidi. I don't know, maybe it's going to.
You don't think that Ndidi has a guaranteed spot?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think he has a guaranteed spot in this team. I think it's going to be similar to Bissoma's situation. I'm not predicting anything. I just think that it's going to be similar to that situation. If you don't do the work, if you don't run, to get the legs very well, you can't play with this. You can't play with this man. So I partially put Bashiru there, but I don't think he will play Bashiru. I think he's going to look for a way so that plays out. Maybe he's going to use two base, and so in front of them, I think it will be Alex Iwobi, then Victor Osimhen and Lukman front.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see how that goes.